everyone. Welcome to 2018. Woo! Happy New Year. I want to share with you guys a cool reflective practice that you guys can do on your own if you're interested. So I've talked about reflection and writing and meditation on my Instagram for quite some time now, and I wanted to share with you. I always show you guys this really nice notebooks that I have that bring me so much joy. But then what I did not show you is that when I get a bit upset, so upset that I don't even want to ruin my beautiful book, I use pieces of paper. And actually, this is something that someone shared with me, is that there's sometimes that when you begin writing, you're just you work on so many things that you don't write. You're so positive, you're just all grateful and lovey and all these things, but then when that wave comes up, you almost don't even have a space anymore because all that you wrote is amazingness. And so what you want to do is still write, but you want to write on a piece of paper so that you can rip it up, because some emotions really do need to get processed out of your body and not stay in there. So a lot of people don't even venture going into the evils or the thoughts in their mind that are really destructive. And I'm just here to tell you something. That's not great, okay? Don't think that's a good idea, or don't think you're being a saint and oh my god, this is all wonderful. No, okay? What you're doing is actually pushing away from reality, and you're not dealing with it. That's what's happening. Because it's not within the normal range of human behavior not to get upset. So what you want to do, rather than just deny it completely, because that doesn't even have a place in your mind. That just is a no man's. That's a nonness in your mind. But what you want to do is actually identify certain situations with an emotion and then let it go. So the reason why we do that is because we can't let go of things that we haven't really put a name to it. So if we haven't in our minds associated a situation with anger or guilt, sadness, resentment, whatever, all the bad juju beans that we feel all the time, then we can't really process it out, and it just stays within us, trapped in our little organs, especially the heart, where it just should be love there. And basically we just have all these emotions that are not dealt with. Whereas if we actually write them down, literally what happens on a scientific level, it switches from one side of the brain to the other, in which one part of your brain is just responsible for telling you the story. The other part of your brain is responsible for doing an action to actually do something about it. However, sometimes in this part of the brain where you're not dealing with it yet, unless you've actually seen it, literally it's from your mind into an invisible plane to the visible where your eyes can see it, then it becomes almost instant where you can deal with the situation, or you can just be oh, whoa, that's stupid, or I don't need that in my life, or I don't need that kind of emotion hanging around. So if you notice that all the words that I was using, anger, guilt, these are not good ones to keep. So we don't want any of those in our bodies. We want all of them to get out. So one of the things that we can do is that we can write certain emotions that are definite no-nos. First ones to get out of your system is anger and jealousy. These two little bad boys are so destructive on the human level that we shouldn't have an ounce of it in our bodies, and we should just get it out. And once we got it out on paper, we rip it up, and we don't ever deal with it again, because once we've acknowledged it and we let it go, then it's all good. So the practice that I wanted to share with you guys is basically writing down, I feel blank X emotion because of whatever reason, and you list it in like a number format. Like, number 1, I feel angry about this time, like this person, this thing, this whatever. All the emotions of anger, I want it to come out. All of it. Like, literally go back into your childhood. If it's like even thoughts in the womb, write it down. Because we don't want any of that. None of it. So once you've written it all out, which we're identifying what is the emotion so that we can let it go, then at the end, when you're completely empty and all of it has just like come out, then you want to write something like, you want to surrender basically all this emotion. And you can surrender this to any person that you trust or entity that is greater than you, like the creator or the force or God. You can just write, dear whichever person that you trust or thing that is of a higher level, hopefully not like the same kind of humans as you. Say, dear so-and-so, dear God, dear force, dear creator, dear universe, please, I surrender all my anger to you. And then you write, please take it from me. So the reason why we do that is because essentially if we got an emotion in our hand, God or the universe or no greater power can actually just flick our fingers out and take it from us. Okay, because that's an act of violence. And that's the one sacred thing of a human being, is that this little circle cannot be violated. It's a big deal. It's like the only thing that makes us human, basically. You can reduce it to that level. You could say that the choice, the faculty of being able to choose from this or that choice is a uniquely human choice. So by, first of all, writing this, it's your choice. 2, by surrendering it, it's your choice again. And by that, we're kind of also just like kind of acknowledging our possibilities of feeling like that, yeah, not everything is going to go great all the time. And that's okay. I mean, that's regular human emotions. What becomes a problem is like those people who think they're little angels, and we all are. There are periods where we all are. But then when you get that moment where you're like, oh my God, I thought I had no more anger, then you realize, okay, you got more stuff to work on. This time, same thing, but a little twist to the thing in a way that you didn't know. And that's growth, actually. What it is, it's growth. So it's like each level you do this kind of practice, it helps you to get better at one, identifying what emotions you're going through. Negative emotions that do not serve us. And 2, being able to surrender that and to just essentially just unclench your hand so that someone, something, some universe like just sucks it out or something like that. And mostly it's just this is like the nature of the mind. The mind cannot let go of something that it doesn't know what it is. So the reason why we do it is to acknowledge the mind on, okay, this is what I'm feeling. Okay, let it go. And then you can let it go. And so, but for people who think that they should never go into the darkness of themselves, or they should never really talk about or ever deal with these kind of issues, or like they judge themselves for feeling anger, for feeling resentful, for feeling guilt, for feeling shame, what ends up happening is just like, it's almost like heavy metals that stay in your body that never come out. There is no channel to come out because you've basically, not only have you had that emotion, then you judge yourself on top of that. And so there's no, you've double locked that door. You can't get it out. So this is an amazing exercise. I almost do this daily. No, it's not that bad. But I do actually do it quite frequently because there's some things that sometimes I wake up in the morning and be like, oh my God, that one time, who was that person? And it's like things that like were such a long time ago, but I realized that I have not once ever dealt with it on paper or ever dealt with it on an emotional level. So that emotion or that anger or that resentment, that sense of jealousy, guilt, whatever, just locked in my body and just didn't come out. And then like 12 years later, you're lying in bed one morning and then you wake up being enraged by that moment and you're like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? And the answer is nothing. It's just that you haven't had an appropriate channel to like get it out of your system. And so this is just one way. I actually, the first time doing this is a bit, be gentle with yourself, okay? If you've never done a sort of reflective practice like this, I'm just going to share with you, the first time I did this practice, I had like a list of negative emotions that I wanted to get through. And I was reading this through a book, so I didn't have a person to help me through it. So I actually just did 6 emotions of my life's emotions worth on that one emotion, like anger, judgment, I think it was control or something. I literally got up and then I fell down. I fell down on the ground because I did not realize how powerful this was. So, as a yoga teacher and now having done this exercise many times, I understand the significance of like how it's a big deal. It's a big deal to do this. So take your time. Take your gentle time and be very soft and very compassionate and very gentle. And I would say not doing it one emotion at a time. That's already a lot. Like that's bravo. Like, oh my God, you're like, I wish someone told me not to do 6 straight. Because for one thing is that you have the rest of your life to express these kind of emotions and to deal with them. You don't have to deal them in one go. And it doesn't mean even if you have, that other things are not going to come up. So it's rather about building kind of like a habit or like a sort of system in place, a weekly system, a daily system, that you deal with these emotions. So you just like kind of let it go a little bit at a time. So it doesn't feel like such a big deal. After the first time, like it took me a while to get through the rest of the emotions. But yeah, now it's almost like I do just a little bit at a time, and I'm very gentle with myself. And actually, almost every time that I do this exercise, I follow it with a compensatory exercise of gratitude that after I've let go of like the bad jujus of one emotion, I basically write down 10 things that I'm grateful for so that I can fill my body with that sense of like, okay, life is not total crap. Or like all these people should not all go to hell, even though I let it go, but whatever, like, so to fill your body with like goodness, good vibes, good jujus. And so that is something that I would encourage, is like to do one emotion at a time and then follow it with 10 things that you're grateful for in life, be it small or big, so that your body doesn't collapse and that you feel like, okay, you've had a bit of recognition of the both, that even though there's been a lot of like poo-poo that happened in your life before, not all of it is bad, of course, and there's so much good in your life that it's almost equally important to remember that, obviously, if not more so, important to remember those good times and those things that we're grateful for in life and all the things that we have. So that's definitely an exercise that we can all do. So be very gentle with yourself. Like, don't judge yourself whilst you're working through these things. Like, it's already like a tremendous thing that if you wish to like do this exercise, it's revolutionary. Let's just say it's going to be like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly moment for you, almost instantly. But just even get yourself to sit down and to like write, like be gentle be really gentle. It's okay. Like, we're not doing this to punish ourselves or to make us feel more guilty or to, like, that's not the purpose of this. It's not a confession sort of thing. It's really just quite simply on an energetic level. Emotions have holds on certain organs of our bodies, and we need to kind of like release it. Sometimes in a yoga posture, you could, especially the ones that open your chest, you would feel like literally your little lungs or your little chest, like rib cage, like literally open up and like release like toxins and stuff. And it's like those emotions that trap in there. And so it's really just like on a physiological level, you want to feel lighter. You don't want to carry, it's like logging like a really heavy suitcase. And these are the emotions that don't serve us to begin with. They don't help us grow. But by acknowledging them, we kind of like let it go and we become empty, and we kind of like allow ourselves to become a receptacle for goodness in the world. And so, I mean, this exercise, I know a lot of people who would be really opposed to it because they're just all about positivity and they're all about, let's just talk about the good and stuff. And I have realized that as much as we strive for these things, there's going to be a time where something's going to look little, it's going to make you lose it. And you got to have tools to be able to deal with them appropriately so they don't just sink in like heavy metal. You can't get heavy metal out unless you drink activated charcoal. Another tip for you right there. But yeah, that's a separate thing. So try out this exercise. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you want a bit more of a list of what are the negative words that would be good. But the first two that definitely should not exist in your body is anger and jealousy. So deal with those two emotions. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if I can support you in any way. I would be happy to share experiences with how it went for me. But yeah, I thought this was a really good exercise to start us on the new year, because the new year's happening. We don't want to bring in all the crap from the past. And so yeah, I just thought that I've shared this with several people already, but on an individual level. But I talk about this all the time, so I might as well make a video and share it with as many people as they think that it would be useful. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you think. Yeah, it'd be great to hear your thoughts.